Well, it's quite late. It's almost 1 a.m. Thursday, March 8th, 2012. I wanted to do like this is going to be a personal chat, but it's going to start off with I guess I want to first address this one very issue. In that video, KONY 2012, there's a few unhappy people that I've read just a little bit of some on comments. Supposedly they make a lot of money in their organization through donations and whatever. Um, and that's a very difficult thing to understand, to even speak about, and to even people behind nonprofit organizations, they make money for their time, for their efforts, for the skill. There's usually a lot of people involved. Everybody gets paid. And there was a number that was very interesting to me. Somebody posted, but I haven't verified it. I would like to verify it out of curiosity. I think they made like $9 million, and 6 million went to all the costs, and supposedly only 3 million went to the, um, I guess, to the country of the organization. And let's just say those numbers are correct. Well, it's such a difficult thing because, well, even with something that I'm doing, if I feel some people are interested in it, and it's very helpful for some people, and it's just I want to make positive, inspiring, motivating videos. As somebody said, it was very, very nice. It's positive for human life. I don't want to create an autobiography, but I've been through a lot, so I'm trying to. It takes a lot of my time. Let's just say for me, for instance, there's a lot of my time that goes into these videos that I make. My personal time that I could be spending on something else. Um, and I'm trying to figure out a way where I can grow that and have more people interested in that would, in a result, um, help them. I don't somehow. You know, so money has to play a role in it, unfortunately, because life is not cheap. But like for instance, in my case, I find myself I have less than $200 left to myself right now. But I'm fortunate. I have opportunities that I just need to capitalize on, and it's just money for me. Um, but it would be very nice to do something like this, to grow with it, to get better at it. I would like to get a better camera. I have the ideas. I would like to hire people. I would like to grow this somehow, but it requires money. Um, yeah, I have this idea that I'm not gonna. I have this idea. I hope it works out, but I'm gonna rely on a buddy to help me film. It's gonna be, hopefully it'll work out. Um, it's such a difficult thing. You can't say that people do something because of money. Like it's all like a scam or something like that. I mean, you look at the organization. It's tough. I mean, Well, look at the Dalai Lama. He travels around. Like, where does he get all this money to travel around? People, look at. See, the thing is, I don't know. I have to look this up. I'm very curious. But see, the thing is, it's such a difficult thing to really explain, to make it reasonable, because I have to give it the benefit of the doubt that they have so many expenses, that there's so much that goes involved, and everything's just thought out. It's not just one person's making $5 million. Um, because at the same time, I don't want to. See, I'm trying to compare myself to that, and it's just not comparable. Unfortunately, I don't think it's comparable. I think what they're doing is a lot more. But money complicates everything. Not everything, but okay, like a lawyer. First of all, a lawyer costs a lot of money. I tried to get a lawyer to help me with just simply making it so I could have some sort of ownership of my Skyrim playthrough. I couldn't do that because I mean he didn't want he charges $300 or so an hour. This is very specific lawyer. Copyright lawyers, they're very they can make a lot of money. It's a very serious type of law because it's all not. There's a lot of there seems in that type of law there's a lot of discretion, there's a lot of uncertainty, and it requires a lot of commitment from the lawyer. I think because I think copyright law is very. I think it is slightly outdated. Well, certainly it doesn't cover things as video game commentaries. It's a very. Well, I guess it's easier to do like a casting of a game as opposed to doing a straight playthrough from part A to from from the start of the game to the end of the game, because the video game publisher can make the case of, well, people can watch this instead of buying our product, and that's when that's only valid when a person, in this case, I would like to have some advertising run. But even then, why would I want to do that? Well, so I can make some money back into the time that I spend doing this, so I could, to the very least, at least cover my expenses of my own personal advertising, um, and the very least generate money so I can continue advertising, because with somebody, I mean, it's like, well, it's not. Well, think of a case like somebody sits at home and creates a cure. Well, this is how I'm kind of explaining. I'm kind of talking to myself right now, or at the very least, I'm trying to reason with myself. Okay, suppose I sit here and I create a cure I create the cure to cancer. I know nobody. I have no money. how will I get it out there? If I feel something like that's very important, a cure to cancer. See, it doesn't apply because all I simply have to do is just call up any news company and just let them know, like, hey, I created a cure to cancer. And they're gonna be like, so, but okay, like Facebook. Facebook didn't just magically. Well, I guess a lot of. Hmm. Okay. Movies. There are probably thousands of great movies out there in the world that I love movies, but I never heard of them, and I probably will never hear of them because they didn't have the money to advertise. They didn't have enough money in their advertising budget to make it, I guess, quote unquote mainstream. Or music. Probably tons of great songs out there, great bands, great vocalists, great musicians, but they just simply don't have the financial backings to get themselves known, or because I guess that I mean that idea is you want to share that with as many people as possible. As a musician, if I were to sit here and create a song, I would want to have people listen to that song and enjoy it. Just like with certain videos, I would love for everybody to know that it exists. So it's within my, it's even if some, some poetry or just some writings. If I wanna sit here and write a book on something that, or just anything, I wanna come up with something, and I wanna get it out there and see if it works or it could be useful to somebody, or that or this or that or that. To get it out there costs a lot of money. First of all, um, unfortunately, that's the case. But I mean, just my idea of any of my videos is just for it to be of use to anybody for any reason. And there's a lot of reasons I can sit here and try to come up with. And at the time of making them, some reasons come up in my mind. And after I create it, some more reasons come up. And then after some more time passes, more reasons come up. But in my life, music, movies, just knowing about certain people that have existed, that I either brushed up physically, either had a conversation, or read about, or have been taught about, essentially contributed to the shaping of the person I am today. So there is something in that. But at the same time, there is an argument of, well, of what, of my, I guess, credentials, or my, I don't know, I guess my personal, I guess, wealth of information of my experiences. What, I mean, it's just, I kind of sidetracked a little bit. I sidetracked a little bit. I got a little tan too. Okay. So back to that KONY 2012. And I think most people would really not really care, to be honest. I mean, I certainly don't care. Well, I do care because if it's, but you don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't, the person who created it, was he thinking, oh, I'm gonna do this to make lots of money, or I'm gonna do this, but okay, we're making some money. Yeah, this costs this much, this costs this much. I should get this much. And unfortunately, as him being the creator of this, at the same time, he made a commitment to Jacob to do something about this. This is a very serious thing. This is a very serious commitment this person made. At the same time, this person made a very, shared some details about this to his son that later in life he's going to find out more about by eventually seeing this video. And if his father did this out of pure greed, it just doesn't. It seems very illogical that this person would do this out of greed, knowing that his son would eventually find out about it if it was truly done out of greed. And then what? That's what. I don't think people generally. I don't. I don't. I don't think that's one of the worst things to possibly ever think to teach your child. I think. Just. I think. I don't know. Especially as a, it seems like this person's life is film. His life is, he's not a fiancer. He's not a like a financier. A financier is a person who deals with finances. That's their life, money, numbers, or a salesman or a merchant. I buy this for $50. I sell this for $100. Okay, I sold this. I made $100. I buy two more. I sell this for 200. Okay. I take that $200. I buy four of these, and then you grow, 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 and that's with, I guess, I don't know, with film and music and arts. I don't think it's anything like that. I don't think it's. It can't be. I mean, it can in certain cases, but no. I mean, I mean, he's certainly very skilled at film. I'll tell you that. So he could simply just make movies, make a lot more money than that, make blockbuster movies, Hollywood hits, make lots of money. So I don't think it's. So I don't think it's out of greed, but I want to somehow spend some time and just confirm that out of my own pure curiosity. I posted to somebody on the comments that suggested that in hopes that he would give me some sort of more insight to it. He would give me some more information. But I did verify with the International Criminal Court that yes, Joseph. Um, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired. Joseph Kane does exist, and he is on the list of the most wanted for the exact same charges. So I mean, this is not like a made up story. This is true, unfortunately. But and in one of my videos, I did say he's not the only one. There's a few people like that. Not and I actually said the word many, but I meant to say, well, there's many people that are just purely, not many, but unfortunately there are some bad people in the world, I should say. I had a good day, but the past few weeks I've been feeling really negative and feeling really bad. And today I kind of realized it, and I decided to kind of engage myself more with an old friend, I guess. So I spent some time with that, and the whole time I was making a choice to just be around him to see if I could show him a different side to life. And I had to say no to that today. I had to say no to him because it's not worth my energy and my time, because it's just such a negative person that his goal, or at least it's just not a good person to be around with, unfortunately. And I don't want to say anything more about that because it's a person I've spent some of my time in life with. As a friend, I've treated him as a friend. I never received that back, but I do respect people, good, good or bad. Um, we all come from different places, and our environment and our parents and our unfortunately do shape us to some extent. But I just don't agree with his life choices, his lifestyle, and the choices that he makes. I hope that he'll come to understand. But I, and I'm optimistic, but I'm also, in this case, I have to be realistic, and time will tell, certainly. So time will decide. But for the time being, I can't have that person in my life. Um, so having done that, I've regained my entire composure and posture of, I guess, my I've renewed all my strengths. So that's a good thing. I think people, maybe that happens to people from time to time. If you're watching this and you're still crazy about Skyrim, I'm sorry, I'll get to it. Just you have to. It's life. Some things sometimes take priority over things, and when you have a feeling in your heart that you must do something, then you must do it. And sometimes it takes a priority, so you have to understand that. And maybe at some point in your life, you will come to experience a feeling that um, doing the right thing, or wanting to do the right thing sometimes would put everything else to a halt. But I will resume my Skyrim. Just please don't hate me. But when I get these ideas to create something for the purpose of sending something positive, to creating a positive video, to which it's arguable, it's debatable as well. Uh, Critics, I don't know. No, I do know, but I mean, I feel like I'm doing the right thing, so I'm doing the right thing. So that must be done. Um, and this next video idea that I have will certainly begin to, I hope, in my head, in my head everything seems so much easier and clearer, but when I put it to paper, when I attempt to make it, to create it, it just doesn't come out that way. Makes me sad sometimes, but I I hope this one will be super duper, at least to my personal way of wanting it, the way that I want it. But I have a really cool video that I'm going to upload. I saw some military trucks today. Not military trucks, military vehicles. It's going to be really cool. It's just such a rare sight. I mean, I'm sure there's videos of it on YouTube, and but when you, I don't know, there's so much randomness that happens, I guess, on this YouTube channel. But I've said this before. This is not. I don't want to. I don't particularly enjoy something like this in front of a webcam, computer, my home office, whatever. Just my lifestyle. Um, I want to be out there. It's more interesting that way. Doing something, showing something. Oh, something very interesting happened. It's so weird. Um, I have this video that I have a couple of videos that are about a company that I believe cheats its customers, give or take. So this person saw the video and somehow found my phone number and called me, and today, and he was like, I saw the video. What should I do? They said that I had this amount of time to get my money back. They told me I had a refund period, but now they told me there was a grace period of 30 days, and it's been like a couple of months. And long story short, I suggested to them that they would call up their bank and tell them that this was a fraudulent charge. It's simple. And I wasn't sure at first, but then it came to my mind that I remember that was one of my ideas too. If this company refused to give money to me, well, then it's fraud. Fraud is what essentially court deems it to be fraud. But in the case of me being a customer, me being a consumer, that's fraud. If somebody, even though I authorized my money to go to them, if I'm authorized that money under certain conditions, I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I got a little tan on my nose too. If I authorize my money to go to somebody under certain conditions that it's hard to explain, but I think the banks know more about it because this is such a common thing. Even credit card, when I say banks, I also refer to credit card companies. There's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of, well, not a lot, but there's insurance for it as well too. So um, with money, with companies, and using credit cards, debit cards, I don't know. I'm not like a lawyer in this or anything like that, but I do know I have certain rights where I could tell my bank, hey, I was lied to. The money came from this account. You have the power to. You have the lawyers. I'm a customer. I mean, I'm certain that in this particular case, it's valid to make that argument where a bank is responsible for it or has certain customer obligations to you as the customer of the bank, that you have the security. Because I mean, if I use cash, it's another story. I can always use cash. I can always use paper money. And then I can make the argument of, that's the only reason I am with your bank, because I was under the impression I have these securities, I have these assurances that if my money goes to somewhere where I did not intentionally mean for it to go, that you as the bank, you as the holder of the money, would be there to help me. So I think banks, at least in the United States, I think they have that kind of responsibility, that obligation to the customer to fix these types of situations when they do arise, and they're very unique too. It's a very unique situation. It's some sort of a vacation package. What's the vacation package? They booked a hotel for, I don't know. It's all vacation packages. I guess somebody from a different country goes like to go. Da, 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 da. Well, let's say I start a company. My company's gonna do what? It's gonna create vacation packages. I'm gonna call Hilton. I'm gonna tell them like da 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 da. We're gonna create a vacation package for people to go to Florida, stay at Hilton, give them a Disney ticket, and we're gonna sell that to people as some sort of a package for them not to do it themselves, to make it easier for them as a service. There are services like that for the very wealthy, for the wealthy people. Just for them to travel to different countries without having any problems. They just pay some company to take care of all these issues, especially in cases of going to different countries. You have to get visas. You have to get visas, and that's, I mean, even for me, it's such a headache. I have to renew my Russian passport. It's going to be such a headache for me to renew my Russian passport in the United States. But there's a service that does it for me. But I'll do it myself because I don't have the money to pay for the service. So yeah, back to the non-profit organization funding. Yeah, that's just, they have, certain organizations, they have a lot of costs. Maybe even this one, they have a lot of costs to get, it seems like they have a lot of people involved. A lot of people, to be teachers, to go into schools and conferences, to speak on the behalf of the organization, to create awareness for this person, for all these people, to travel around the United States to get so much support. The fact that they were able to send troops to Uganda is it's amazing, really. And even then, people might say, what's the big deal? I mean, what would the American officers, advisors know anything about Uganda? Well, you have to understand that America, among many other countries, they have lots of money and they have lots of satellites up in the sky that cost lots of money to operate. Let alone, you need certain people have certain powers. I can't just go, like, Mr. Obama, can I use the satellite to maybe, I don't know, I want to look around. you know, he, he's gonna go. Maybe contacts within the CIA that might know or have some more information on it, but or just simply the case of just having the information. The more you know, in business at least, or at least maybe in government and business, in a lot of fields, trade fields, the more you know, first of all, the more money you get paid, in most cases, but the wealth of information, it gives you a lot of power. Um, well, in the case of making money, there was a case, um, I think it was people from Google went to Microsoft, and they were working in very creative positions. They were like vice presidents, and Microsoft offered them more money, or vice versa. What they knew about what they were working on is a trade secret, and technically they can't disclose it, but now they're working for a different company. There was some cases about that about a year ago. Not a year ago, maybe 6 months ago. Yeah, that makes sense. I read about that in newspapers and online, some website. I think it was in Yahoo, I think. Yahoo News. Didn't remember too much about that. Okay, politicians, same way. Um, like the consulting, there's like consulting firms, or just the fact that somebody was a politician, the people they met, the people that they know, the people that they have contacts with, personal contacts, not an email address or some sort of a number that you're going to call and speak to a secretary or an intern, but a direct link to somebody who is in charge of something. To, I don't know, let's say in the case of I don't know, somebody from Google, let's say in this case, somebody from Google just simply wants to meet the governor of Christie, just to have dinner and just to have the pleasure, just to have the intellectual pleasure to have a conversation, a private conversation of just, I don't know, anything about life. Who knows? Of a governor or a senator. Some wealthy businessman just wants to know a little bit more about how things work, or just he's just very interested. He's very intrigued. There's a lot of everybody's curious, naturally curious. Um, so for somebody who was an ex-politician that either worked for, let's say in this case, Governor Christie, which is the governor of New Jersey, who is the governor of New Jersey, that consulting firm or that information, that businessman might go to this person, hey, could you set up a dinner date with the governor? I just want to have a conversation with him about life. Or just something like that. It could be, you have to assume it's harmless, and it's just simply in good nature. But if that wealthy businessman, how is he normally going to do it? He's going to go through all the normal channels that I would have to go to just simply meet with him for possibly 1 minute. But this person wants to have a dinner conversation with. It's a little different. So that you might offer him like, hey, if you do it, I'll give you $100,000. And then he takes it and he goes, okay, you know what? I'll ask him, and if he does it, then he'll give me the money. He calls him up, be like, hey, Chris, this guy wants to meet you just to simply have a conversation with you. He goes, oh, okay, like, okay, he tells him like, and then they meet. It's naive to to assume that. Of course, it could be probably something. You can't assume it's against the law or it's deviant, but that's just the way I like to imagine it. Mm. In the case of being a doctor, the more you know as a doctor, the more selective your time can get. So you can devote your knowledge on, it's the difference between seeing 10 patients a day than seeing 50 patients a day. So in case of you're in private practice, you're a brain surgeon, for instance. Let's go into trade. Suppose you're an electrician or a plumber. Same thing. The more knowledge you have, the more reputation you have. Let's just assume you're an honest plumber or an electrician. It's one thing if it's your first year, you don't know anybody, you're trying to build contacts. It's another thing you're in business for 20 years, you have done plumbing for thousands of people, and those thousands of people loved your work and your honesty and you're good at it. You didn't do any mistakes. You did everything by the book, by the regulations. You didn't use cheap materials. Those people for the rest of their lives are going to rely on you and refer you to other people. And same thing, I guess, with a professor. A person doesn't just become a professor. They go through the ranks, uh, you know, teaching at a college or university, possibly becoming an assistant professor, and then working their way up to professorship, etc. Then again, uh, from what I understand, I mean, in certain colleges, certain universities, the professors, the teachers, they're not, among one of their duties. In some cases, they're only teaching partially, but most of their time they're devoting their work, their time, their effort to some sort of research. Let's say a scientific research, an engineering research, architectural, many, 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 many different fields. Anyways, yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. 1:41 a.m. Just wanted to say that um, I'm gonna even some of my content that I've had on my computer that it's time for me to upload so I can have the space and not have to deal with it. It's gonna get resumed. I have I have the strength, so that's very important. Strength, energy. It's very important to think about things like that too. My nose is very red.